huge update. So if you tuned into my broadcast, I don't know, 4 hours or so ago, I was wrong. Again, sort of. In the sense that shot in hell that this judge was not going to rule for the complete and total extradition of Julian Assange. That is not the case. In fact,
continue on I-70 East for 25 miles.
This judge just ruled that Assange should not be extradited to the U.S. Let me repeat that. This judge ruled that Assange should not be extradited to the U.S. Now, I should be super excited about this, and in a lot of ways I am. I pulled off on a rest area to get a couple hours of sleep, and when I woke up, I was like, I should check this. I should see what exactly happened. Here's the catch. The judge didn't rule that Assange shouldn't be extradited because he didn't break any laws or that he was protected by freedom of speech or the public's best interest. Instead, the judge ruled that they would not extradite Assange because of the mental instability and anguish that Assange is going through. And if, in fact, they were to extradite him, he would be in even more isolation than he currently is in Belmarsh, if that's possible. And remember, I'm not sure if it happened today, but the reports of other previous hearings is they had him in a plastic box. All right, they had the guy in a plastic box. Here, let's put that on there. Sorry about that, guys. So they basically said that he was so smart and so intelligent that if they did extradite him and his mental state was the same, that he could easily take his own life. And that was the reason that they ruled against extradition. Now, here are the caveats that make this somewhat troublesome, although still a huge win for the day, right? A huge win in the idea that, at least today, Assange has not been ruled to be extradited to the United States into a kangaroo court, okay? Here's the problem. The U.S. government is going to appeal this. They've already said they're going to appeal it. And by the way, only 17 thumbs up. Thumbs this up. We're on the way to D.C. Right now. Let's say they appeal. Now, this means Trump absolutely 100% is probably not going to pardon Julian Assange. Again, we talked about this last video. We're not even sure what he could pardon him for, since he hasn't been convicted of any crimes, and the idea that he could be tried for any crimes in the U.S. is questionable at best. And that if, in fact, Trump somehow did put a pardon or drop the charges, a Biden administration would probably go ahead and do whatever they wanted. So let's say that happens. Let's say right now this judge rules, and it did, not to extradite Assange. But again, not because of freedom of speech issues, not because of issues regarding the public's right to know about war crimes by their government, other governments, by corrupt actions taken by individuals and corporations. No, that wasn't it. It was, again, because she, I think it was a she, basically, he wasn't mentally fit to be extradited because they feared that he would commit suicide. Well, now if you can throw that out and then you can get this going again, and maybe you get a different judge, right? Or the judge somehow sees it another way, this goes into the Biden administration and the nightmare continues. But I gotta tell you, if 2020 was wild, 2021 is shaping up to be just as wild, right? Just as wild. And I realized I had missed a phone call from Andrew. Shout out to Andrew from Action for Assange. while I was sleeping. I don't know when this happened, you know, in comparison to when I hit the rest area. Sorry guys, my chest is killing me. I'm too much coffee on this trip, and I'm stuttering here, but it is huge. It is huge. And by the way, I tuned into the Slow News Day / Action for Assange vigil, and they were remotely streaming from outside of the hearings, and I mean the Gestapo, I mean the police there, were acting just absolutely ridiculous because of these COVID-1984 lockdowns. They were trying to say that no individuals could be outside. There could be no protests. If you weren't exercising, you were somehow breaking the law. And the guy tried to point out that it was regulation and not a law, but obviously in these days of COVID-1984 and authoritarianism, law enforcement sometimes does not understand what their true role is. And it's very, very unfortunate. So once again, I want to say it again, Assange ruled to not be extradited to the United States with a caveat. This caveat, again, is not that the judge thought that what Assange was doing was in the public's best interest. It wasn't that the judge thought that perhaps he did not commit a crime. It is, again, because the judge is saying that the defense made the argument that if, in fact, Assange was extradited, he may commit suicide, and he had the intellect and the means to do so, even in mass isolation. Which, to me, I mean, it's such a double-edged sword, right? You don't want Assange to be extradited to the United States, but this ruling raises eyebrows and so many questions, especially in the post-Epstein, quote-unquote, suicide era, where you had Bill Barr, you know, basically laughing on television with a mainstream media journalist about the safety of Ghislaine Maxwell and how she wouldn't be able to, quote-unquote, commit suicide. You know, and I'm hearing conflicting reports. There is a lot of conflicting reports out there with Ghislaine Maxwell. Obviously, her PR team, the ones that are trying to get her bail, remember she was twice denied bail, is saying that she's in horrible conditions, she's being treated unfairly, they're barbaric, etc. And then, you know, from the other side, I'm seeing these other stories that, you know, she's being treated like a queen, and she's got all sorts of special privileges there.
There's a speed trap ahead.
And to me, when I think about something like that, you know, you gotta wonder, because you look at Epstein's first run in jail before all the madness, when there wasn't national media attention, when there wasn't pressure everywhere, when it wasn't coming out that Epstein may have in fact had intelligence ties, how he was treated in Palm Beach. Because when the investigation started going there, you found out that even the sweetheart deal that he got, where he was in and out of jail, where he was basically under house arrest and escorted by a police officer a ton, where it appeared that he was still meeting with underage girls, all those things happened. Now, I'm not saying that those things are, you know, that necessarily Ghislaine Maxwell is getting that type of treatment, but I'm certainly not putting it out of the realm of the possibility. People with those type of resources, people with millions, if not tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, often are treated differently, aren't they? Aren't they? But again, I'll tell you what, you go watch my last video. I told you I would be happy to be wrong about this extradition case. Wrong again. Wrong. It just shows you guys, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. And this is a very happy mistake. Just like the Weinstein thing. And you know, I remember that I was on the road during the Weinstein verdict as well. In fact, I want to say that was all the way back last February, before COVID-1984. And, you know, just as we were talking about the possibility of lockdowns, the possibility of getting storable foods, the possibility of you not being able to see.
There's a speed trap ahead.
If they were in nursing homes, all those things happened. And it was in February on the way to DC. And here we are in December, 10 months later, on the way to DC again. And another huge surprise. Another huge, huge surprise. Once again, Julian Assange ruled not to be extradited. A lot of caveats on that. Again, I don't expect the U.S. government to even give up slightly. I think they're going to put a full court press on. I think that this story has so much more traction. And, you know, the powers that shouldn't be the predator class, they don't like a guy like Julian Assange. They don't want to empower a group like WikiLeaks. You look at the counterintelligence document 2020 to 2022 in this country, and you can clearly see there is a move to go after all public disclosure organizations or ideologically motivated individuals in the same manner they go after ISIS, Al-Qaeda, aka Al-Qaeda, okay, Iran, etc. That's on paper. Please go check out that document. But for today, for now, we've done pretty well, huh? It happened. So, was that Sleepy Josh right there? All right. Well, thank you, Sleepy Josh. Thank you for putting those programs together. And again, there's a lot of fighting to do. This is a big deal. But at the same time, it's not like we're out of the woods yet. But I got to tell you, I'm smiling. I'm smiling a little. It's a smile. You know, and I'm going to give a shout out to Drufus. I don't know if he's ever going to see this. I hope and pray he's all right. But I bring him up because we probably haven't seen him for 5 or 6 months. He's my original moderator. He's somebody I met in person, and that's why I made him my original moderator all those 10 months ago in DC in an event for Action for Assange. So, you know, Drew, I just want to say that I haven't forgotten you, and that I'm really rooting for you, and I'm hoping that, you know, everything is going to be A-okay, and that you're going to make your return and that things are going all right. Because I know you were in a tough place, and there were certain things going on even then. But guys, I'm on the road to DC. You want to support me? The GoFundMe is down below. We're obviously not going to go live on Rockfin today. Probably not tomorrow. We're going to try to upload stuff to there. But Rockfin, Ethereum. You know, yesterday the Ray token went up to $2.94 and almost hit $3. I think it's like, last time I checked, it was like a $2.20 or $2.40 something. Ethereum almost hit $1,000. It may have already hit $1,000. I haven't checked it since I woke up. It may be more now. But crypto exploding, you know, Bitcoin surpassing 34 and change. I think that's dropped down to like 31. But right now, again, with a very uncertain market, aka the dollar, crypto is slamming right now. And I think that the Ray token and Ethereum are probably pretty good short investment bets. So keep that in mind. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And let's keep fighting. You know, let's keep fighting. I don't think that all hope is gone and that all hope is lost. And, you know, things like this, even the bizarreness of it all, definitely make me happy. They definitely make me think, hey, we are having an impact. So I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.